and welcome to another fine edition of On the Spot. My name is Ronnie Wiley. To my left is Rusty Ammerman.
Ron,
Rusty,
pleasure.
how are you,
Thanks
buddy?
for having me back.
Yeah, I'm glad to have you back.
Yeah, are you having me back because this is like a sequel because the first one did so well, or because really no one else will show up? Which
Actually,
one is it?
it's a combination of both. Maybe no. I'm just, no, we're glad to have you back. I told you I wanted you.
I'm the guest of last resort.
No, you are the best guest of last resort. I'll tell you that much. And I told you, the last time when we were on here that you and Compton and Holly Dunn, you guys were the inspiration for this program. Finally had you on. You were so good. We got to have you back.
Wow. Well, a couple of those people would be good inspirations, but whatever. It's a pleasure to be back.
Yeah. So lots have happened since we talked last time. You were overseas last time. Tell me about that.
Yeah. Well, the overseas thing. I don't want to correct you. The overseas actually happened a long time ago, but I was fortunate enough to do 2 overseas tours for the DoD.
Now, that's good.
Now, sometimes people say USO, so let me just, for the record here, the USO technically are celebrities. So if Garth Brooks goes overseas, that's with the USO. When someone like me goes over, it's actually through the AFPEO, Armed Forces Professional Entertainment Office, through the DoD. Right. I don't get paid.
Right. But you get an experience.
The experience, we did get a per diem, which was kind of weird. But the way that happened was kind of funny. I was much younger then, and when you're young, you kind of, everything just seems possible.
Oh, absolutely.
You're not jaded by a multitude of failures.
Right, or aches and pains.
So I'd heard you can go overseas. I thought, well, I'm going to do that. So I don't remember how. There was no internet at the time, and I found this company and called this office and talked to a guy named Captain Stan Adamus. Captain Adamus. Is that a great name?
Yeah, that sounds like some sort of like Nostradamus type.
Yeah, Captain Stan Adamus. Like he was on Battlestar Galactica.
Right, exactly, right.
And I said, I really want to do this. I've got this illusion show. And he said, well, where can I see you perform? I'm like, Connorsville. And he said, okay, well, when you do your next show there? And I can be there like Wednesday. And he flew down, and I called the middle school and said, can you let us do a show? Sure, and we did the illusion show, and then went. My point is, the thought of this not happening never occurred to me. Right. The thought that they would go, no, kid, we don't need a magician from Indiana to go overseas.
Especially Connorsville.
Right, but he flew into Indianapolis, drove to Connorsville, spent the night in a local hotel, saw the show, said, sure, we'll send you over, and that was
amazing.
Yeah, it really was. We ended up doing 2 of those. It was Iceland, Belgium, Luxembourg, the Netherlands, Germany, Scotland. I'm sorry, England and Wales, not Scotland. Didn't get to Scotland. It was great.
Yeah. It sounds fantastic.
It was fantastic.
You're overseas and you're doing these shows for people that, I would think that they, because when I think of those countries, Iceland, do they even have magicians even show up? It seems so isolated.
I don't know. Good. The biggest city close to us in Iceland was Reykjavik, Iceland. Right. They had a Hard Rock Cafe there. But the base was in Keflavik. It was a naval air station at the time. No, so these were mostly Americans, but definitely NATO people. But still, on the economy, other people would come in and see it. And when I was in England, I did the show, and I said to the guy, I said, what do you think? He said, oh, it was brilliant. And I thought, it was brilliant. And then I found out later that they use that word for everything. Oh, brilliant. It's like that's nice. That's really nice. Yeah. It's really nice. What do you think of this pot? It's brilliant.
Yeah, but the way they say it, it sounds so sincere.
Like, that's
right. Brilliant. Yeah,
exactly. It is.
Of course, I have more of a Cockney accent, which sounds like screaming at you. But anyway, so now, did you do the same show, or did you split it up?
We took as much as we could. It's really difficult to fly with a bunch of big illusions, but we took as much as we could. We ended up doing a lot of school shows over there as well. So I did things for the kids, and then we'd invite them to come to the evening show where we did bigger stuff, also some officers' clubs. Sometimes it was just strictly adults, so you could be a little edgier, not dirty, but certainly edgier. These are military people, for God's sakes. They've heard a couple nuances before.
Right, exactly, sure, yeah.
But it was one of the more interesting things was in Iceland. It was the Air Force base, but it was run by the Navy. It was kind of a weird thing, and doing an officers' club. There were some fighter pilots there, and I got to meet a guy named Colonel Al Smith, call sign Rooster.
It's like you meet people with great names, yeah.
And they flew F-15s.
Did you get to fly with them?
No, I begged. I get to sit in one, though, and I was asking all these questions. They're just answering everything. Like, are you allowed to say this? Oh, it's all declassified. Right. So there's a picture of me somewhere sitting in an F-15 Eagle airplane. But we got to go out on the runway and watch them take off in the morning. We got up really early. We went out there, and it had been raining. And as they're sitting there waiting to take off, the asphalt dries behind them. I bet, yeah. It's great. So I was sitting on the edge, and these things come screaming by as close as, well, this isn't going to make sense to people out there, but from your front porch to this middle of the street, they were going by about that close.
Oh, man, you were feeling the heat.
You could feel it on your chest.
Yeah.
And at one point, because I was holding my ears, I turned around and I looked at Al. I said, my God, that's loud. And he said, son, that's the sound of freedom.
Ooh,
never forgot that. Yeah, these guys were great.
Yeah, absolutely. So you do this, you get to experience all these things, you get to experience. Now, I've heard that European audiences are different from American audiences. Is that true?
Yeah. Oh, yes, they are. They are.
Explain
yes.
the differences.
They are, their sense of humor is much more subtle. You just watch British television shows.
Right.
Watch Monty Python.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
It isn't these extraordinary laughing. Now, Benny Hill, I guess, would be an exception.
Right.
It was very physical,
Right.
very slapstick comedy. But most of it is very cerebral. And so they laugh, but very politely. So they don't, like we do in America.
Right, yeah.
They're
right.
like, it's jolly, it's wonderful. But European, it's almost like they think it's rude to clap. I found the same thing when I did shows on Native American, not bases, Native American
Reservations?
Reservations, thank you, out in the Dakotas. They would smile and nod their head, but it was like silent. So when I'm used to doing a joke, where you do the joke, and the audience is going to laugh, and you take 2 steps and they stop laughing, I do the joke, and you can hear crickets. And it kind of messes up your timing. And later they would say, that was the funniest thing I've ever seen. Really? That was funny? So the funnier the more silent you are.
Right,
that's what
exactly.
that's what you expect.
That's what we're used to. Yeah, you're waiting for that crest to come down before you start your next one.
Right,
but when they're kind of like this, you're,
yes.
oh my God.
What he's talking about, the old thing at theater, when the audience laughs, it kind of peaks up, and you wait until it's halfway down the other side before you start your next line.
That's right.
That your timing is blown.
Right,
When
right.
you do the joke, and you feel like you're falling in a vacuum.
Right, yeah. Yeah, because, again, timing is based on that. So, again, you have all this experience, and you come back here all the time. What do you got coming up? I'm sure you got some stuff coming up.
Yeah, actually, there's a couple things. People always say, where are you going to be doing a show? Most of the shows that I do these days are closed. They're for corporations, or they're at schools where you just can't walk in and see it. But there's a couple coming up. June 25th, that's Sunday, June 25th, 4 o'clock, Richmond, at First Presbyterian Church, which is on North A and 10th, I think. It may not exactly be right. Part of a thing called Lynn and Friends. Lynn Kennedy, the retired choir teacher, has done a show for decades now, Lynn and Friends, mostly a musical review. He does one at Christmas time, very Christmas themed, obviously. And then in summertime, it's more of a patriotic, and I think it's sounds of freedom, sounds of faith and freedom, I think. And I typically do a couple little magic interludes to kind of break up the monotony of stuff, some comedy, sometimes some readings. But all local talent will be there. Kim Geesting will be playing there. Trying to think of some other. Brian will be singing, of course. So come and see
Brian Rogers?
that. Yes,
Oh,
correct.
Great guy. Great
Fantastic. Pipes.
Yeah,
great
absolutely.
pipes. So that's coming up. And then also here in Connorsville, July 14th, 15th, and 16th. I hope I get this right. I feel like I'm a celebrity plugging a movie
Right,
now.
yeah, exactly.
Can we go to the clip?
We'll go to the clip here in a moment.
Right 14th, 15th, and 16th at the, correct me if I'm wrong, it is the former 4-H building, now called the Historic Rogers Building.
That sounds correct to me. Yeah.
And that's going to be the 14th, 15th, 16th. It's called the Hullabaloo. It's the 4th annual Hullabaloo. It's a vaudeville.
Oh,
Vaudeville.
wow.
So it's a variety show.
Right.
Bunch of different kinds of acts. I'll be doing some of it. Again, local talent. A little bit of kind of a libretto, a story that kind of weaves all the acts together. And that'll be Friday, 14th, 15th, 16th, Friday and Saturday at 7, and then Sunday the matinee at 4. And we've got some interesting, I'm going to be doing a very interesting new effect there. I've got a new assistant's going to be joining me for the first time on stage. That'll be kind of fun. We're going to have a kind of a steampunk theme to our act.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's going to be very Victorian, and I'm going to do some very traditional vaudeville kind of acts.
Are you going to grow the mustache?
I'm not going to do the
grow
mustache,
the
but I will
mustache.
ride in on a bicycle.
But
the big bicycle, the big front wheel.
Okay, you're right. You got to have the front wheel. Yeah.
I will not do the mustache.
No, you got to do the mustache. If you're going to do vaudeville, you got to go all out. Get that thing there and kind of get that hair down, get that part.
Right.
You got to do it, right?
And
That's how
the muscle guy wearing the unitard.
Yeah, right.
Bald at the
Yeah, right.
500 pounds.
Yeah, and it's you can do that. So you talked about you're debuting some new tricks.
Yeah.
I remember we talked last time. You were talking about how you don't necessarily create the illusions. You find them and
you have a good memory.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So have you ever thought about creating them, and where do you find the ones that you do use?
Okay. Well, as you as you progress in the magic fraternity, you become more and more aware of other people. You meet them and you read the magazines, read the periodicals, and then it's all really kind of a price point. But you'll see an ad for something, or you'll call up the builder and say, I really want to do this, but instead of it looking like this, I'm doing a trade show. Can we make this look like whatever I'm doing, an aspirin bottle, whatever, whatever the thing is. And that's where it kind of becomes your. Typically, what I do is when I see an effect I like, I will purchase the effect and the rights to perform it. And in the beginning, I will do it exactly the way the script says.
Right.
And then what happens is you go on a tour, and after doing the show 3 times a day, 5 days a week for 14 weeks,
you want to change things up.
It happens, whether you want to or not. At the end of the tour, you have a routine that is certainly reminiscent of the one you started with, but different enough that it's now yours.
Right, right. Oh, and that's what I was going to say. So, I mean, it's not something that's consciously, okay, when I do this, I have to, it just evolves into something that's your own, correct?
Yeah. No, with your experience in theater, you mostly work on script, so you really don't have a lot of tricks.
Right.
But in mine, sometimes something will happen, and you'll think, that is really funny. I'm going to remember that. When I was younger, I did.
Yeah.
Now, I don't.
Do you have somebody writing on the side?
No, I don't have anybody writing on the side. But sometimes I have actually done this before. I've said, hang on a second. I've run over and written something because this is going to be in every show now. I'm trying to think of one example. It's kind of complicated to explain, but there is a magic wand. It has clearly, it's a very histrionic magic wand. It has a big, like, bibbidi-bobbidi-boo kind of ball. Right. And I hand it to the girl on stage. I see her grab a hold of the magic wand, and they would grab a hold of it. Well, this one time the girl reached and grabbed it by clearly the star pointy edge, grabbed it like that. And I paused and did a little bit of a Jack Benny thing. And I said, no, honey, this is the magic end over here. And I turned it around, got a huge laugh. And then I thought, how can I make this happen at every show? So I would do a thing where I would purposely hand it to her, she'd grab it, do something else for a second, pretend like I didn't see, and then say, oh, no, honey, this is the magic end over here. Right. So sometimes things happen, and you got to figure out a way to recreate it. Right. So it looks spontaneous.
Well, again, I'm used to being on script from theater, but also in radio. There's a lot of things where a lot of your shtick comes from total accidents.
Yes.
Total accidents. I remember, I used to always say unbelievable. That was my big crutch, and that became something I was known for at Z93 in Dayton was unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable, baby. That was it. So it was like, so
that was your get her done.
That was my get her done. It's unbelievable, baby. So again, so you've been doing how many shows now? I mean, for how long?
Well, my first show was in 1984.
That's amazing.
What does that mean? And
33 years?
300 some shows a year, roughly.
Wow.
In all kinds of. I tell you what. Sometimes people will be very nice and say, you're really good at this, and I think that's kind and it's appreciative. But with no arrogance at all, when you've done something this long, this frequently, you better be.
Well,
you just have to be.
If it's not second nature, it's.
And there are times, just anything you do, whether you're working on a factory line or doing spreadsheets, you get to a routine where you're thinking about something else. I can be in the middle of a rope trick and think, oh, okay, now see, I'm about 300 miles away from getting the oil change in the car, so I guess I'll do that this week. Right. You start, I got to call Dave back. I forgot to call Dave. I got to call David back tonight. I've blown over. and you're in the middle, and sometimes if you go too long, you'll go,
right.
Did I do the thing about that? Yeah, that's a little weird.
That keeps it fresh, though.
It does keep it fresh.
It keeps it fresh. Sure. I mean, people think, when you make a mistake, it's the end of the world, but sometimes that's a spark plug to get you going, to get you better.
I may have said this before, but Penn Jillette, one of my heroes in magic, said to a variety performer, not so much a theater, but to a variety performer, we are the kind of people that see the movie Groundhog's Day as a good thing.
Right, yeah.
Because you can just keep doing it over and over again. Is this joke better? Is it better? I need to pause a little bit more. Right. Or I need to drop that joke. That's terrible. I'm going to punch it this way. Right. You really get a chance to kind of hone that. Yeah, it's
perfect it and move on.
That's right.
Yeah, that's why I'm still in radio. I've never done that perfect break yet.
You're on the radio right now.
I just got off a few minutes ago. It's a magic.
We're going to take caller number 5. Good morning.
Yeah, right. Speaking of magic.
Yes.
I want to see some magic. I got my little, got that thing going,
No magic.
No magic, no.
I'll do some magic if you can disappear.
We can make that happen.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going to disappear right now. Here we go. I'm disappearing. Am I doing this right? I'm gone! And just like that, we are back here with Rusty Ammerman. And Rusty, we got some magic, because that's what you do. But again, I know you made fun of me, but this is a good trick. I mean, you're buying it, aren't you?
Yeah.
There's crickets in the crowd. The kids love it at church. I would do that. They'd be amazed.
I'm sure.
My granddaughter's like, Papa.
Yeah,
I'm like, whatever.
until they turn 3.
Yeah, well, she is 3, so that's why I do it. She's 3. Yeah, I do all those tricks. So, but you're the professional. I'm not. I want to be right here in front of you and see if I can figure out a trick.
All right, well, let's, this is a little routine I typically kind of start my shows with. There's a lot of people out there that can't differentiate between experiencing a mystery of magic and just flat being confused. There's a big difference between confusion and illusion. Like higher mathematics is confusing.
Confusion to me, yeah, exactly.
Politics can be confusing.
That's
Keeping track of who's related to whom on Game of Thrones can be confusing.
That's right.
Certainly women can be confusing.
No doubt.
Well, let me hang in.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I thought you were going to drop the mic. Invisible.
We're going to talk about the English language, which can be a little confusing, using hole cards. Hole cards in gambling are the cards that are dealt face down. Well, these are hole cards of 2 completely different types. The first one is a hole card because it has a hole. The second one is a hole card because it does not have a hole. In other words, it's whole. The third is like the second a hole card. The fourth is like the first a hole card. So this is an example using 2 hole cards and 2 hole cards. You with me? Good. Now, the hole card has color in the back. If you place it against the hole card, you can create what looks like a spot card. The same is true for this pair. But it's not really a spot card. It's only an illusion created by the summation of a hole card and a hole card. If we make another spot card and snap our fingers, we can make a spot card once again, only this time the spot does not rub off. Yeah, thank you very much. And that leaves us now with 2 hole cards and unfortunately only 1 hole card. The other hole card was 2 into a spot card. Remember how impressed you were when I did that. Yeah. So if we make another spot card and tap it repeatedly against a hole card, we can make a whole bunch of spots. So now we have a spot card and a whole bunch of spots.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks once again.
No,
so,
no,
it's all right. It's okay. It's okay. I don't need your pity. So what we have is we can use the corner of a hole card to make a spot card just like that. And if we remove the hole card and wave it over what used to be the spot card that is now a hole card because the hole card's been taken away, we can make another spot card, only this time the spot is so big it covers up the whole card.
Amazing.
Look, Ron, I don't sing and dance. This is what I do here.
I'm trying to figure out how you did it.
We can do these jokes 2 ways.
Yeah, okay.
We can do them with laughter. or the way we're doing them now. Yeah, that's right.
British version,
a spot so big it covers up the whole card. Let's do a review. We have a spot card, a whole bunch of spots, and a spot so big it covers up the whole card. What is this, though? Is this a hole card that is whole or a hole card that has a hole? Is it a hole card with a spot, or can we make it a spot card with a hole? So now we have a spot card with a hole, a spot so big it covers up the whole card, a whole bunch of spots, and a spot card. And this trick works because you were watching the spot when you should have been watching the hole. And that's my whole story, and I'm sticking to it. Thank you very much. Okay.
Brilliant.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah.
Brilliant. No, I'm sitting there watching it, trying to figure out how you did it.
And you're this close.
I'm this close to you. I don't know how you did it.
This close.
It's amazing. You show me after.
Let's try this.
Here, please.
Okay. Can we get in time on rubber bands? Oh, that's gonna be great.
Yeah, we can.
Go ahead and take a look at that one. Make sure it's not the funky band. Little rubber band. Little rubber band.
It's a real rubber band. It is.
Rubber band. Yeah. We're gonna try this. One goes around the tips of my fingers. The second one goes inside the loop we've created. I'm gonna look at the monitor to make sure you can see it. Nope, right up here, inside the loop we've created. Now, if we use our imagination, we can actually make the rubber bands separate through each other, just like that.
Oh, that's amazing.
All right, sure. I'll do it again. First one goes around the tips of my fingers. Second one inside the loop we've created. There we are, within each other. There you can. Again, I'm trying to make sure you can see this. This is totally legit. But if we use our imagination, they can melt through each other, like that. Now, the way this works is every rubber band has a little soft spot. And if you find that soft spot and pluck it, you can actually make them link together here. We may need a close-up of this so I can see here. There we go. Links right through there. And what you have to do is find the soft spot again, and you can pop the rubber band off, and that way you have the rubber bands exactly the way they were. And if you think this is really cool, you can thank all the girls that didn't date me in high school.
These are real rubber bands.
Real rubber bands. It's you can't do this at a stage with 400 people watching, but it's kind of fun. This is an interesting little thing I picked up at a curio shop. It's a little switch here that has 4 different colored bulbs and 4 different colored switches. Now, I don't want you to overthink this too much, for real. Pick your favorite color here.
Okay. Want me to tell you?
Yeah.
Okay. Blue.
Blue. So clearly, if you can, the blue. Let me see if I can move it. Yeah, the blue switch lights up the blue bulb.
Yeah.
The green switch lights up the green bulb.
Uh-huh.
The yellow bulb, and the red bulb. Nothing terribly complicated. Here's where it gets interesting, though, Ron. If you would please take any 2 of those bulbs out. They just unscrew, and just switch places. Any 2, and just kind of mix them around.
We'll do that.
That works. Yeah, whatever you want to do. This is your choice. We didn't prearrange anything.
No,
I didn't
not
say
at all.
you had no idea what was going to happen.
He did not. I promise.
Even though you've mixed the bulbs, what's interesting is the blue switch still activates the blue bulb. The green switch, the green bulb. The red switch, the red bulb. And the yellow switch, the yellow bulb. Even though you've mixed them around, they activate like that.
That's amazing.
Now, let's take it one step further. Take all 4 of the bulbs out, if you please. All 4, remove them, and then put them back in any order you want to.
In any order? Okay.
And kids, try this at home. It's a lot of fun.
It's one of those tricks that they can try at home.
You got,
Okay.
you're great, that's right. You're right, you're good. Just want to make sure they're in there making a connection. All right, so we've got the red one there, you got the blue one there, nice. Oh, gonna mix it up a little bit.
Mix it up a little bit.
The green there and the yellow there, okay. Now, even though you've put them in a completely different order, the red switch still activates the red bulb, the blue switch, the blue bulb, yellow, of course, yellow, and green, green. So there they entirely are. Now, let's make it a little more creative, just in case somebody thinks that the bulbs are gimmick, that there's some kind of a microchip or something. Remove all the bulbs and just put 3 of them in. So leave one of the bulbs out this time.
Remove all of them and put 3 of them in.
So some people think it's like some kind of a smart circuit or something. We're going to eliminate that possibility. So he's going to, yellow goes in over there, very good. He's always going for the red, red, across from green, perfect, and green, okay. So he's left the blue bulb out, which is okay because the green still activates the green. The red, of course, the red. Now we don't have a blue switch, so it's not going to do anything.
That's unbelievable.
And then the yellow, of course, the yellow. So there we go, just like that. All right, now go ahead and put the blue bulb back in.
Okay.
And there was something about this I didn't tell you. I left a little bit out. These switches aren't really permanent. They're just little covers that come off. Now I will tell you, there is a little magnet. The only thing it does is kind of snap it in place. So I'm going to take all 4 of the switches off, hand them to you, and put the covers on the switches in any order you want to. It's kind of
any order?
Yeah. Just drop them on there anywhere you want to. Okay, that one goes. Go good.
You said don't overthink it. I'm trying not to. This is.
It's kind of wacky, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, in order you want to. You get the green, so activates the green. The red, the blue, of course, does the blue, and the yellow does the yellow. Those are the switches. Now, there are some people that are going to think that this is some kind of micro technology, that somehow there's something interesting or gimmicked about that. So we're going to eliminate that. I'm not even going to place them on the switches, just next to. Tell me which color you want to go here. Which one of these?
Red.
Red will go right here. Very good. It's good. Yeah.
And that wasn't part of the show.
No, that was not part of the show. Yeah. I do something. Which one do you want to go next to the red?
Let's go with yellow.
Yellow will go right here next to the red. What about across here?
That's got to be green.
Green, and then finally
blue.
Just want to see if you were paying attention. Yep. Very good. So even though they're not even touching, but we can see which one they're reacting to. The green still activates the green. Of course, the red is going to activate the red. The blue over here activates the blue, and the yellow activates the yellow. So there we go. Now, I'm going to go one step further here. Let me just kind of mix these up a little bit. All right. I have 2 in each hand. Point to a hand. Perfect. Okay. Excellent. And then I'm going to set these back here. And then point to a hand again. Excellent. Go ahead. Take that. I'm not even going to look at what color it is. Take that switch and drop it on one of the 4 toggles. Go ahead. Just drop it down on any one of the 4 toggles. Drop it. Okay, excellent. Oh, good. And go ahead and just flip it on and see what happens. Go ahead. Try it. Yeah, see the green activates the green. Any one of these could have done something else, but that's exactly the green. All right, now do me a favor. Take the 4 bulbs out. 4 bulbs out. This is the final little phase
This
here.
is amazing.
And you can now put the bulbs in any order you want to, and the switch covers on in any order you want to, and just kind of take your time.
Anywhere I want.
Okay. And while you're doing that, I actually saw this little routine the very first time on the Tomorrow Show with Tom Snyder.
Oh, wow, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah,
Harry Anderson did this, one of my
wow.
favorite magicians. Back when he was doing Night Court, he was on and did this for Tom Snyder and really kind of going. And I put the switch covers on. I've always kind of enjoyed it, and I just recently was able to acquire this. And it's a fun little routine to do. All right, there you go. Tom Snyder, welcome to the Today Show, Tom Snyder. So even though you could have done this in, 24 times 24, a bunch of orders. The green still activates the green. The yellow, of course, the yellow. The blue, and the red. But I am a little OCD, and this kind of bothers me. So to make me feel a little bit better, I'm going to put them so they're back and forth across from each other the way they should be. That is a little more semblance of order. I like it better because the green does the green, the yellow, the blue, and the red. That way we can all sleep well tonight. There you go.
Rusty, that's amazing.
Well, thank you.
Brilliant,
Thank you very much.
Brilliant.
Yes. I'll be here all week. Tip your waitress. Try the meal. Good night, everybody.
Tip your. So, I've seen you do do tricks like this, which is amazing. And even though I've known you for a very, very long time, apparently I haven't known you long enough to figure out how to do this stuff or to tell me.
It's the deadly dozen coffin of doom that keeps you up at night.
No, I still want that. I was there, man. I was there. The deadly dozen coffin of doom. I had a horrible hairdo. I had a horrible Fu Manchu.
So did I.
Yeah, we all did.
Yeah.
But wow, that was amazing. I think that was the first time when I realized how good you were. I had seen you perform before at the high school. You did that fastest illusion.
Yeah, the world's fastest illusion, metamorphosis.
Yeah, and I've seen you escape. You're not just somebody who does tricks up front. You are a master illusionist in a sense that you're an escape artist as well. And that was the first time I
a true escape artist. I mean, if you went in the bowels of the magic fraternity, real escape artists take it very seriously. All of my things have a little bit of a humor or a twist to them. Right. Even the escapes have a little bit of magic or a little humor. The straitjacket escape I do is funny. The countdown and the guy in the countdown, we get in an argument with each other, and that's kind of fun. But the deadly dozen coffin of doom, it's an escape from a coffin before a truck runs over me. Right. Maybe, am I putting too much pressure if I say we're going to show a clip right now?
I hope so. We're just going to say it anyways.
The idea was that I was going to get out of the coffin before the truck smashed into me.
Right.
And I didn't make it. The truck smashed into the coffin, splintered it into hundreds of pieces. Yes, next to my mother, my grandmother, my grandfather, who all thought I was going to dive out of this coffin.
Right. I did.
And I didn't. And then there's a little bit of a surprise ending when I reappear someplace else. We'll just leave it at that.
Ready, Jennifer? Listen, very careful. Very careful. What I want you to do is get on that. This is more. That will be the last we'll probably hear from our team. Let's begin this conversation from the inside. We're getting the box ready to go. Okay.
Okay, very fine. Now, folks, be very careful. We have traffic coming by. Why don't you come back over on this side of the automobiles, because I understand they do have a first aid unit that will be coming in to check the lady out. So, if you would, just kind of stand by, let them get the box in place. Looks like they're getting the box in place. Sling the flag and sending through. Stand back. Rusty, get in there. Rusty. Did Rusty get out? Where's he at? Let's hear it for Rusty the Magic Man.
It was amazing. I remember.
And they didn't know. You were next to my mother.
I was sitting next to your mom,
right? And you can hear my mom nervously giggle.
Right, yeah.
When her son got ran over.
And she also goes, you can hear me say this, she also goes, how did he do that? And I'm like, I don't know, you're his mother. I figured you would know.
Oh, like I'm going to tell her.
Don't even tell his mom. I mean, so
right.
I was a chance of me finding out how to do this light bulb thing.
Secret.
But again, you've done so much. Where does Rusty Ammerman go from here?
Retirement, I think. Florida would be nice. You know, it's fun. I really do have this little pipe dream that I either want to open up an ice cream parlor and just work that and have it like all themed in the 1980s. Everything in there like 1980s.
Yeah.
Great music and great decor.
Have
or
hairspray, Aquanet there.
Lots.
You have to.
Or I want to retire at Disney World. I want to be like one of the guys on the Jungle Cruise that does all the one-liners, or maybe is the guy that takes the tour to ride the movies, that gets to interact with the crowd. I don't have a problem saying the same things over and over again, but the Jungle, if you've never been on the Jungle Cruise, fast and funny.
No, I tell you, every time I go to Kings Island, Tim Clausen and I, we're like, God, we got to get Rusty here to perform. We got to get you to perform at Kings Island sometime. That would be awesome.
Okay, you make it happen, I'll be there.
Yeah, of course, I get that kind of clout at
I'll give
Kings
you 10%.
Island. Rusty, I'm telling you, buddy, we got to make this happen again. Very, very soon. Rusty Ammerman, God bless you, buddy.
John,
thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
My
pleasure.
My favorite magician.
Ron, good man. Thank you for having me. I do appreciate it.
We'll catch you next month on The Spot.